The seller listed the home for sale by owner. I called to try to reach the seller, got voicemail, left him a message. A week later, I called again and left another voicemail. On the third or fourth week, I attempted to reach the seller for the third time. I finally got through and we had a conversation. The conversation lasted 50 minutes. And when I say 50 minutes, the seller spoke for about 45 of those minutes. I got in a few, got it. Oh yeah, gotcha. But other than that, he basically spoke over my sentences the entire time. And in his own words, he said, I tend to talk a lot. So that was the first phone call. But he did tell me at the end of the conversation that he enjoyed speaking with me. A long time ago, I learned that the more you listen to somebody, the more invested in you they become, and the more they're likely to schedule an appointment with you. So I was definitely trying to employ that strategy when speaking with him in our first conversation. He said he's going to interview 3 agents and for me to send him some information via email, and then we'd go from there. I did email him some information, and then a few days after that, I called to follow up. I didn't get him on the phone. Then I called again, and I did get him on the phone. He confirmed receipt. We ended up talking for another 40 minutes. And you guessed it, he probably spoke for 35 of those 40 minutes and myself only 5. At the end of the day, I just want the listing. He was nice, but he was just talkative, had to be the authority on everything. I listened through it in my efforts to try to gain this appointment. He said, I'm not ready yet to meet with people, but when I am, I will reach out to you. I said, great. So I waited another week or so, maybe 10 days, to reach out to him. I called him, got him on the phone, and he said, oh no, I forgot about you. I've already met with 2 other agents. Oh, I'm behind the 8 ball here. And come to find out, there was one of those 2 agents that he took a liking to. However, he wasn't really thrilled about the commission that they were charging, and I think there was something else. So immediately I knew there was a window of opportunity. I said, listen, you said you wanted to meet with 3 agents. You also said that we had a good connection. You really need to meet with me and my partner. He's like, okay, I'll give you a shot. But I live an hour from the property, and it's going to be hard for me to get up there tomorrow because of what he had going on. But he really did want to sign a listing agent the next couple of days. Long story short, he was able to arrange for his business partner, who's also involved with the sale of the property, to let us in, tour the property, and get back to him. So my partner and I rushed up there. The property's about 45 minutes from where we live. We did our tour. I got back home. Told him we had a great time. When can we meet you and your business partner in person? He said, not so fast. I need for you to fill out a questionnaire. It's 14 questions, and I need all of your answers before I decide to meet with you. Are you for real? He emailed me the questions, and I respect him. I respect anyone that's analytical because I really am, but he was like next level compared to me. One of the questions was, I would like for you to rank your sales performance in relation to your colleagues at your brokerage. I couldn't believe he was asking this because even if I was at the bottom of the rankings, I'm definitely not going to tell him that because I'm trying to earn his business. It just baffled me that he would ask that question. But I tried to give very respectful answers to all the other questions, and I emailed them my answers back. So we tried to then proceed to get that face-to-face appointment with him at like a coffee shop. He said, you know what? I'll try to meet you, but I'm not sure. The day of the appointment, he canceled. He said, I can't do it. Work is too hectic. Let's do a Zoom. My partner and I were like, no way. The other 2 agents got a chance to get in front of him. We need to get in front of him. We rescheduled the appointment for the following day. I completed the questionnaire and I sent it off to him. We get to the coffee shop and he's about 10 minutes late. He does apologize. We sit down and we proceed to start the meeting. He has not even opened up the questionnaire yet, and it's been 2 days since I sent it. He has concerns because we don't live very close to the property. We tell him how we're going to be hosting open houses there every weekend, how we have a lockbox, and how we'll be there as necessary. It's not super close to us, but it's only 40 to 45 minutes away with traffic, very typical in our area. So we try to calm those concerns. We share with him all of my partner's sales successes. We did a great job. It was really a good listing presentation, and we were even flexible with the commission structure. During the meeting, he proceeded to tell us, no offense, I'm sure you guys are great at what you do, but basically anybody could sell this listing. He said the only reason he wasn't going to sell it on his own any longer was because his work was getting busier and he didn't have the time for it. And then he also told us that he has a reputation for being kind of nasty with buyer's agents. And we were like, whoa, okay, this is good to know. And before we even sat down for the meeting, I told my partner, we need to make sure that we don't go past an hour here, because if we allow him to, he is going to speak the entire time. We're going to lose 2 hours of our workday. And sure enough, we did not cut him off in time, and he went on talking for 2 hours. I was really sick this day, but I made it a point to go to this listing appointment, even though my partner could have handled it on her own, because I wanted this listing. I'm brand new in this business, and I'm willing to do whatever he wants. I'm willing to jump through these hoops, get him the questionnaire, meet him at a place that's convenient for him, whatever we needed to do. We presented beautifully. As we're leaving, he says, you know what, you guys are great, but if I don't hire you, I'd love to use you as a buyer's agent one day, because I have a lot of investment properties that I look into purchasing, or I will be in the near future. My partner and I are like, not going to happen. Still holding out to get the listing. We get home and he doesn't make a decision. Another 24 hours goes by and he's like, hey, where is that questionnaire? Oh my goodness, I sent it to him 3 days ago. He hadn't even looked at it at this point. Another 24 hours goes by and we hear from him. And the decision is his business partner, who we were unable to meet with because they weren't available, has decided to select an agent that lives closer to the property, and we're not going to get the listing. Ugh! It really, really stung. I wasn't feeling well. I had invested hours on the phone and in person, and I just was upset, and I was so disappointed. It took me about a day to respond to his email. He was courteous in the email, and I wanted to be courteous back. Always be classy. I said, we really appreciate the opportunity to have presented our qualifications, wishing you and your agent all the best in selling the property. What are the 2 things that I learned from this listing appointment? Number 1, I want to work super hard in the next couple of years as I'm trying to ramp up my real estate business, so that I can be super selective as to who I'm going to work with. There is no way that I would have worked with this person as a buyer's agent. Maybe a listing agent down the road, even if I was established, but never as a buyer's agent. He was very self-consumed. He had to be the authority on everything. He clearly didn't respect us. I spent a lot of time filling out that questionnaire, and he couldn't even find it, let alone, review it for us. He had the nerve to say, anybody could sell this property. He was kind of insulting to our profession. Overall, the whole vibe from this person was just very, I don't want to spend time with them. The more time I spent with them, the more I was bored as they kept talking, and it just was a negative experience. I learned that I want to get my business going so that I can be very selective as to who I work with. The second thing I learned is that you can't control everything. An ideal scenario for my partner and I would have been to be sitting in front of the 2 decision makers, the seller that I originally spoke with and his business partner. We weren't able to coordinate that. The person lived here, the other person lived there, we lived here. It just didn't happen that way. You need all the decision makers with you at the listing presentation, and we couldn't put that together, and that was beyond our control. I have no regrets about going on this listing appointment. I'm happy and pleased that I was able to even secure it, but it taught me a lesson that, I don't want everybody as a client, and I want to get to a point in my business where I can decide, yes, I want to work with you, and no, I don't want to work with you. I hope this story was helpful to you guys. Keep trying to get those appointments. The more calls, the more appointments, the more appointments, the more listings. I'll see you guys on the next video.